Okay, fifth graders, some of this homework we did in class, so I know you have 2A done and I believe 3A is also done. But we'll just work here. Today we're subtracting, but we're still looking for that common denominator. You can't add or subtract without a common denominator. This one already has a common denominator of 7, so we know it's going to end up as 7. And then we just need to subtract our numerators. And 12 minus 7 is 5, and I think we're done. Moving down, this is the one that we did in class together. We switched these. We found equivalent fractions. We decided these would be better off as 15s for a common denominator. And we did times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So we changed this to 55 fifteenths. And this one we did 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 3 is 18. So we call that 18 fifteenths. And then we can just subtract across, and our denominator will be 15. And then 55 minus 18 is 37. And since that's an improper fraction, we can change it to a proper fraction. And we decided in class we could actually get 2. Usually we say subtract 15. 15 out of 15 would be 1. This we can do 30. So 30, we'll subtract 30 here, and we'll call that 2 whole. And then our leftover is 7. So 2 and 7 fifteenths for that one. And this one we decided our common denominator should be 77. I think Chase helped us with this one. And 7 times 11 is 77. 9 times 11 will be 99. And then we'll cross this off. And here we subtract. It was times 7. 11 times 7 is 77. 9 times 7 was 63. So we'll just do our equivalent fractions. Keep our denominator of 77, and then we need to subtract. And then we get a 6, and 9 minus 6 is so 36 out of 77. And I don't believe that can be reduced. I think we just left it like that. This one we're going to find a common denominator between 6 and 2. 6 we can leave. Let's change our 1/2 to 3/6 instead. And then we can subtract. And we know that these are the same. 3/6 is the same as half. So 10 minus 3 is 7, and we keep our denominator of 6. Well, 6 out of 6 is 1, and then you have 1 left over. And so we'll call it 1 and 1/6. Here we don't have a common denominator. We can find a common denominator of 33, but you might also know that this is 6 divided by 3, which is actually 2. You know what? I'm going to find the common denominator. I'm afraid I'll confuse you if I show you the other way I'm thinking of. So we'll keep our common denominator, and we'll say this is 33, and this is 33. And we'll look for some equivalents. We multiplied by 11, and this would be 66 then. And this we multiplied by 3, and this would be 24 then. So we've got 66 minus 24. And we get 42 out of 33. We can take a whole 1 out, and we would have, so if we subtract 33, we would keep our same denominator of 33 and now we have a whole number. And let's see, 33, I think we get 9 if I'm thinking right. Yep, so 1 and 9/33. Kind of a funny looking fraction. This one, I bet we could reduce that. Ooh, I'm looking at that thinking we could divide by 3. Let's do that. Otherwise it's not a proper fraction. We get 1 and 3/11 then. That looks a little better. 1 and 3/11 for that one. This one, they're already common, so we keep our denominator of 12. And we get 2/12. We can leave it, or I mean we shouldn't leave it like that, because now we know we can divide by 2 over 2 and get 1/6 for a proper fraction. Let's see, a common denominator, let's go with 21. Sometimes if you can't think of one, you can just multiply them together and get a common denominator. This was times 7, so 10 times 7 would be 70. And this we are going to multiply by 3, and so this would be 6 over 21. We'll keep our denominator of 21. 64. And I think we can take a few out. 20, 40, 60, 63, and I think we have 1 left. That's a funny looking fraction. 3 and 1/21. Here, a common denominator. Let's go with trying to, because I can reduce them too. I don't know if that would help us though or not. Let's go up instead. And we'll say, we'll multiply this. I'm looking at 24 as a common denominator. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 4 would be 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. We'll go at it that way. And then we'll subtract. Remember, we're subtracting this time. Denominator stays 24. And I think we get 3 24ths. And we can divide both of those by 3 over 3. And we end up with 1/8 for an answer. And here, a common denominator would be 40. And we're doing 5 times 8 is 40, 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 5 is 40, 5 times 4 is 20. So we'll subtract 48 minus 20 and get 28. And we'll keep our denominator of 40. And then we can divide both of them by 2 for sure. Let's see, 7 times 4 is 28, so I think I could divide them both by 4. Let's try that. And I would get 7 and 10. So 7/10 will be our final on that one. Let's do a common denominator of 55 for this one. We're going to multiply times 11. 11 times 11 is 121. And this one is times 5, so we'd get 15 55s. Keep our denominator 55. Got a strange number up here. I'm going to do a little side subtraction because I'm having a hard time doing it in my head here. (106 over 55). What a weird number. And I know I can take 1 out. Can I take 2 out? Would that be 110? Can't take 2 out, but I can take 1 out. And 51 over 55. Boy, where did they get these odd numbers from today? And this one will come up with a common denominator of 63. Nine times 7 is 63, so 9 times 2 is 18. And this one, 9 times 7 is 63, 10 times 7 is 70, so we'll just keep our denominator of 63, but we'll do 70 minus 18. I think I did something wrong. Let me do it over here. 70 minus 18. Oh, nope, I had it. I don't know what I was thinking. So 52 over 63, unless you can think of a way to reduce it. I'm not seeing anything, but that doesn't mean I'm not missing something too. And on this one, we can just change 1. So we'll multiply it by 3 over 3, and we'll get 33 ninths for that one. And that's easy enough to subtract across. Keep your denominator 9. And 33 minus 7, 26. And I can take 2 out of that, because 9 times 2 is 18. And I get 8 left over 9. 2 and 8/9. Alright, thanks for working with me today.